Good morning. My name is Brandy Leathers, and I'm a principal partner and CEO of a clean tech company that's a wholesaler of smart lithium batteries. And we're focused in markets where high electricity costs have really pushed the adoption of renewable energy. So our secret is in our patented energy management system, which was designed over the past decade for off-grid military applications. V2 owns and licenses its technology, and we are a U.S. veteran-owned, and part of our mission is to create jobs for veterans. So the problem is that, and in the history of this particular market, is that the renewable industries have been focused on electric vehicles. They've been around for years, but they've been met with limited success. And this is due to the lack of safe, reliable, cost-effective energy storage systems. Also, lead-acid batteries are historically used, and they are toxic, and they need to be vented, and they're not as efficient and easy to recycle. Also, due to the lack of safe, reliable, and cost-effective solutions, in fact, quote unquote, the safety track record is the only issue standing in the way of lithium-ion adoption, as quoted in the Lux Research Institute in 2013. Competitors are still struggling with this technology required to manage lithium cells. Why? They're focused on products and not solution-based systems. So there are grid-tied and off-grid solutions that are needed to meet the U.S. and international renewable energy goals. Our solution. So our underlying magic is based off of something that was designed for the military a number of years ago. One of our founders of our company and owner of our IP is retired Lieutenant Colonel Fred Winters. He now serves as our President and Chief Operations Officer. Mr. Winters served as a special ops planner in the Marine Corps and was heavily involved in national security matters. Mr. Winters founded Vet Ventures and then Vet to Vet, which became V2. Mr. Winters is a visionary who in 2003 predicted that large format lithium would be the future of energy storage. It was at that time that he began the journey of developing our energy management system. Our system is a patent-pending system that has a circuit board and LCD handheld controller that manages the lithium cells. Our systems are unique in that they are compatible with existing inverters. No one else has the capability of integrating with various inverters. No other company is marketing a similar system. Our lithium batteries are safe. They're not going to catch on fire. They are scalable. They are smart with integrated communications. They're technology agnostic and cost effective. And may I stress, there is no more R&D required. Only programming of our boards. What you see here is a couple of our applications, one in a rack mount system, also a portable system in the left here. Up in the right-hand corner, you see our integration of our board in communications with a smart keypad. You can actually diagnose the individual cells in large scale all the way up to 2 megawatts. Don't be fooled by the packaging here. It can come in various shapes and sizes. This is just an idea of some of the rugged applications that we have out there. Emerson Lieber actually did the data mount system there. So our systems are built using project financing, which typically includes customer deposits, so our costs are not high. We are not building a gigafactory, nor do we intend to stock our shelves. We do have existing customers, and again, I stress the no R&D. This is the inside of our peek at the inside of our energy management system. This particular example is showing small format with 24 volts with the board, which is our secret sauce, and the energy management of the cells. This is showing an example. I mentioned that it's programmable, it's stackable, depending on the application that you want to put it into, whether it be a golf cart, a car, a cell tower, something of that nature. We do not have to go in and reprogram. We do not have to go in and do more R&D. We only have to go in and reprogram depending on what the application is. And I just stress this takes days, not weeks, not months of extra money and time. imagine with the hurricane and the disasters that were happening out in recently this week with Hurricane Matthew and other disaster situations, this is really where this adopted from. Imagine not having diesel generators or loud noises, being able to power lights, provide electricity when the lights go out and we don't have it. That was one of the reasons that this came to fruition. So this is a proven technology. Mr. Winters has been at this for quite some time, and we do have some of the smartest and talented PhDs that are with military contract defense folks that are working with us. And we have also focused and been on the set of Walter Mitty and the set of After Earth. We were actually powering a system, an integrated system, where we had the battery powering the lights and the cameras on these two particular sets. So also, again, anywhere that you need storage or energy and you can plug into the grid, and this is one of our solutions. This here is showing an LED lighting system, which is also something that we are doing with civic communities, and anytime where safety is an issue in parking lots and structures. We have an LED light that is coupled with a solar panel, has the battery on it, as well as an integrated security camera system. Our current status. We are fully commercialized, and we will be first to market in Hawaii with a fully off-grid functioning air conditioning unit for a school program that's already funded for 1,000 classrooms. We are in the midst of finalizing the designs with the Department of Education, and we've been focused there for quite some time. What you see here is a picture of a 10 kilowatt system. We're actually developing a 5K portable for the schools so they can have air conditioning where the old cinder blocks and things were in the rooms. So we're very, very excited about that. And this is a picture of our system going over to Hawaii. So, in conclusion, we want to get you off the grid.
Okay, thank you, Brandy. Eugene. As always, what can our community do for you? How can we help you?
So I'm going to introduce Gene. He's our finance guy and one of our principal partners as well. Really, we're seeking capital right now to continue to maintain our consulting engineers. As I mentioned, they have some of the brightest PhDs in the world, and they're consulting with us right now. We're working with them as defense contractors because our intellectual property is very competitive. Obviously, there's lots of people trying to enter this market. We'd like to be able to bring them on and retain them moving forward. Also to pay our salaries and to keep us not having to go get a day job, as we call that on the side. Because we're fully commercialized, we don't need a lot of capital coming in, but we are looking for financial partners at this time to assist us. Because we're majority veteran owned, we want to take the capital that we do raise, park it, and get an SBA loan. And then we feel that we'll fully be able to support with demos in various markets. We have customers literally knocking on our door right now on a daily basis. One for cell towers. We have Emerson Liebert is one of our partners, customers from the past. And in order to do that, we actually have to get a demo up. And so there are some costs, obviously, with travel for our team to get those up and going. But we have real customers, so we're
and we have
some support.
We have a program to employ veterans. So right now we're working on a partnership to do assembly in Hawaii where the need is the greatest right now. And we're going to employ veterans there. We'd like to open a facility in Las Vegas where our engineers are located. So we need to raise capital, lease some space. But again, we're funding most of our assembly with deposits and project-based financing. So it's not like we're going to build batteries and stock shelves like we said.
Okay, great. Any questions?
Do you guys plan to present at the November 14th?
Come back to that.
Yeah, with the summit. It's
Yeah.
the summit event.
I would love to. Actually, that's the way the community could help us. We actually just went out and started to, this has been bootstrapped basically between the partners all along, although there has been about $10 million invested into the intellectual property over the 15 years. So that even though we're a new company, we don't have any debt, and I don't know of a lot of these events. So anything the community can do to point us in the right direction. I've been kind of reaching out. I have a few familiar faces here. Meg, I've known her from the past, and Al. This is kind of a new position for me to be in, to go out and start raising money.
So one thing I noticed that's impressive about your company is the sort of the financial situation of not having debt and already having a customer base. Have you thought about including that in your presentation? Because that would really, I feel like, set you apart from other competitors.
Absolutely. So I actually called Gary Simon way back to ask for mentoring, and I had 50 pages of a business plan when I sat down with him. So it's because this does so much, it's so competitive, and you get so much in the weeds. I think, even with the coaching ahead of time, absolutely.
I think it's like a really impressive piece of the company. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, and one of the things that brought me in about a year ago was the Hawaiian Electric Company instituted a cap on net metering in Hawaii. So after you reach the cap, you can no longer install grid-tied systems that sell back to the grid. So if you're generating power during the day and you're not home to use it, you can't use it. So you have to have batteries. Well, they hit the cap like 2 weeks ago. So we're getting lots of phone calls all of a sudden from Hawaii. And they kind of operate like, by the seat of their pants over there. So, it's like, okay, we can't sell solar anymore. We got to sell batteries. It's like it happened overnight. And so we're ready to get into production. We think we can deliver as many as 500 units in 6 weeks. So if we ordered lithium cells today, which are a commodity, we don't want to be in that business, but we could be in production and have product in 6 weeks.
Great.
So as the engineering geek here, and you can't answer these questions because it's proprietary or whatever, that I understand, but I'm not sure I'm understanding what the technology actually is.
Well, that's I'm the finance guy, and she has an engineering background, but honestly,
So it's our energy management system. I don't know if you
it's a
know that,
programmable
too.
circuit board.
Right.
So it manages the life, the integrity of the cells, and the energy that's going on to either coming from solar or going into, say, an air conditioning unit, for example. And then if you can't get sun from the solar, or you need to operate off-grid or behind the scenes, it's managing the power that's on the
So
side.
it does this in some unique way that no one else is doing.
Yes.
Because basic energy battery management obviously exists, but not in the form that you're doing.
No, and it's not, most of the technologies that are out there, for instance, I didn't pick on any of our competitors, but even like Tesla or Sonnen or some of the others, they have very specific inverters that they have to use to convert the energy to work with their board. Ours and our intellectual property has the ability to really be agnostic to that. So imagine retrofitting some of those homes out in Hawaii or even in California in the future. I mean, we're playing in Hawaii because it really kind of leads what's going on with renewable energy. But imagine somebody has a solar system up, they have a certain inverter already in place, and now they need storage. Well, the other companies, they have it available. You have to tear it out and start over, where ours is just plug and play, replace, and program it, you're good to go. We have several inverter companies that are interested that we have NDAs and we're working with right now to do that. But I want to stress that residential and off-grid storage for commercial applications and other clearly isn't the only thing that's out there available. And we're really unique in that we're one of the only companies that is, as I said, lots are knocking on our door. I mean, cell towers, anywhere there's a diesel generator. Anytime the emergency
that may be our biggest customer next year is off-grid cell towers.
Or, in disaster situations, when there's an earthquake or there's a hurricane disaster, one of the main things, at night when they're looking for people, you're powering lights and you've got these noisy generators. If somebody's crying out for help, you can't hear them. So this is really, and we're working with departments and looking for connections within that, outside of what we're doing with the military, to really put this in play to do a humanitarian effort, really on a global basis. Anytime you imagine having to pull from gas or dirty energy.
Could you step me through your battery storage cell? So it goes bad, your device, one cell goes bad in multiple cells?
Yes.
And who's notified and who's qualified to fix it?
Well, okay, so right now, we manufacture 2.5 kilowatt systems. So that has 8 lithium cells in it. And if one goes bad, then you pull the 2.5 K system and swap it out with a new complete 2.5 K. So we can do, it's scalable, obviously. The residential market is probably in the 7.5 to 15 kilowatt range. And so that would have, 3 to 6 2.5 kilowatt systems in it. So we get alerted if there's, a cell that goes down. Failure rate's like 1 in 10,000. So, yeah, we would.
And it's on the board, so we have Wi-Fi, Zigbee,
So is it a
Modbus.
licensed electrician, or is it somebody that works for your company?
No,
Is it-
we would want, our own people. That's
Okay.
one of the benefits of being in Hawaii, and none of our competitors are doing this, is, we're working with local distributors who can go do that. Yeah.
And that's a big thing in renewable energy. I'm pretty passionate about it. I've been doing this since 2005. It's training, education. That's really one of our biggest hurdles, is trying to get people's minds wrapped around, okay, 10 years ago it was solar power, now it's energy storage. We know who Tesla is, we know about electric cars, we know these other things. Oh, those things catch on fire, what is that? There's a hurdle of education and certification and training, which is really, really going to be important. So we work as a wholesaler together with our partners in various regions, also to employ veterans and locals. And we're working with some folks here in California that are interested in as well in doing some things. But then that way they have skin in the game, they're local, and then we can also provide with warranties, where in Hawaii, if something breaks down and you need a part, it can take months sometimes to get a replacement part. With us, our distributors right there, we have them in shelf, and it's part of their customer service where you can just call and check on it. If it's a large system up to 2 megawatts, and we say it's scalable, as Jean mentioned, it actually, our board has the ability to communicate exactly what cell is down. And we can go out and hot swap, basically pull it out and replace it, take it back and work on it so the customer's not down. We actually have somebody that does houseboats up in the Shasta area that we're working on right now. And one of their major things that they have to do, can you imagine going on vacation, renting a houseboat and having this time off, and then nothing working on the boat? They spend literally half of their day going out and servicing and swapping lead acid batteries. They're dirty, they can't charge them, people are dead in the water. That's the last thing you want to worry about when you're on vacation. Imagine not having to do that. These run for days. One of our systems, we just really took it through the ringer on the air conditioning, make sure we had it for the schools. Literally ran 7 days, 24 hours before it did the shut off.
Or at the bottom, and it automatically shuts off. So if you damage it, it shuts itself off. It's very safe, and that's part of the program here, is that you can put this in your house, and you don't have to. It doesn't require venting, and it's not going to catch on fire. The ones you see catching on fire, lithium has kind of got a reputation. Yeah, those have bad battery management systems.
And they're small format. There's lots of them.
Yeah.
These are large format.
You guys have made a ton of progress, a long journey, absolutely, and I'm trying to think back through the slides if there was kind of like a roadmap that showed kind of either where you've been or where you're going. It could be a complex with a lot of little milestones on it, but did I miss a roadmap for like going forward, where you want to focus, like just the idea between commercial and residential, just to understand that, get a grip on that, and then what's your next phase and looking out?
So that was not in there. As I said, I started with like 50 slides at the beginning, we scaled it down, but I can't answer that for you. So we are focused where our customers have a need, and we have orders that are basically needing to be fulfilled. And I mentioned that we focus on solutions, not just products. So we have a solution right now. I mentioned the air conditioning unit. We have a need. There's a pot of money. We have customers that are going to be working with it, and we've got that fully optimized and ready to go. That is our first plan. We do have, I mentioned Emerson Liebert in the data centers. We have Nokia and Ericsson, some of the big cell providers are actually wanting us to put demo units out into service right now. And again, it takes a matter of working with an engineering team in a few weeks maybe at the most to go ahead and reprogram and get it in there. So our plan is to take care of where our customers and our need is right now. Part of the other reason we want to bring money in is because we want to be able to go after these markets.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you have phase one in motion, and where you have traction and you have customers, everything's lined up. The phase 2 and phase 3 stuff are kind of their own markets that you really could use getting someone else on board
That's-
to help kind of go into those markets and prove your success there.
Absolutely.
And so that I think is for people looking to invest, that is one of the key things, is showing the success of where you're at now, and these opportunities are just out there ready to be picked off the tree.
So for example, in our approach, we have various different ideas that we're going out with people doing exactly what you just said. So in Hawaii, it's not inked yet. We're in the 11th hour, literally. Last night we were working on it with Hawaii. We have a joint venture opportunity to actually do local assembly. So it would be a 50-50 where we bring in the IP, they're putting up the building, and then we're bringing the veterans, disabled veterans, and then training them in crews to start assembly. And we go after it like that in communities, because when they're skin in the game, they know the market better than I do. I've been traveling over there for 10 years, but I'm not a native Hawaiian. You can't go into a market and tell people how to do their business in their communities. We just saw that fail with NextEra trying to go in and take over HECO. It failed miserably, and in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why. So we're doing the same model and replicating it. We are also doing some things in Mexico with a separate entity.
If I can finish, so we will do limited exclusive licenses for people, like, we have a golf cart application that's proven, and you wouldn't believe how cost effective it is over a lead acid battery that they use now. But we just don't have the capacity to be focused on it. What we want to do is license the technology to somebody who just wants to do that business.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we're working on a number of those.
So that's another
Yeah.
bubble that's out there to be harvested
Absolutely.
when you can get some investment capital.
Right. There's just so many different applications. I mean, really put a big board up, the sky's the limit. So we just really are focusing where we have the first turn to bring money and sales in.
Anything else?
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, I mean, have you considered the possibility of focusing just on one group? I mean, I understand that there are a lot of different potential customer bases, but it sounds like to me that I mean, obviously you got to make money and you got to support the business in the short term, but as you go to the next level, maybe focusing on one area and doing that, like, carving out your niche there and then expanding to the next one, maybe a better approach. And I don't know your business very well, so don't listen to me, but have you thought about it?
We have, and like I said, the air conditioning one is really kind of a cool one because it goes into different places. You can imagine being a cool one. Not just for the classrooms. Again, I mentioned education, so there's a tie-in there, right? It's going to have a platform for education. But you can do air conditioners in RVs. I think somebody did a really cool YouTube thing on that not too long ago, educating can it be done. You can do it in, when you're out camping if you wanted to.
Well, if you want to build out your garage for a playroom for your kids.
I mean, maybe that's the way of still remaining cross-functional, but focusing on one specific area. Where it's air conditioning, that could be residential, commercial,
That's right.
Government.
That's right.
I feel like is another big area that
We do, yes.
I'm not sure if Hawaii, the government stepping in, or if it's individual commercial interests or whatever.
Right.
It sounds like that's a lot of different people to be talking to, especially as a small team.
So that's where our joint venture partnerships come in and the folks that we're working for. So with our customer in Hawaii is a distributor, and they have over 300 contractors that have those relationships. So they're pulling, we've just optimized the product and the solution with the air conditioning. They can go out and absolutely, Army barracks, we have stuff even in Guam, they're building 4,000 homes over there. There's other things in the Pacific Rim. Or can you imagine, I think the only thing you can export from Hawaii right now is sugar and coffee. They don't even do pineapples anymore. We're actually looking at shipping integrated solutions from Hawaii and from Mexico and from California, hopefully.
Time for one more.
Yeah.
Well, if that's your business card, I know of a disabled vet who used to work for Hearst Cablevision back in the 1980s whose skills, you guys might be a good partnership to work if you help you promote your product. If you're interested in him interviewing you, you interview him to see if you're compatible.
Absolutely.
Business partners.
Absolutely. Yeah, Mr. Winters, of course, handles the manufacturing end of things, but I'd be happy to put him in touch.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you both